You're listening to the Flip My Funnel podcast, a daily podcast dedicated to helping B2B marketing, sales, and customer success professionals become masters of their craft. It's Friday, so this is our #OneHero episode. In these episodes, we highlight and celebrate a blog post and contributor from our community and discuss topics surrounding sales, marketing, and customer success. Here we go.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Flip My Funnel podcast. My name is Kaitlin Lutz, and I'm super excited because today we have Madison Bennett on the podcast. Madison is a marketing operations coordinator at Terminus and also a member of the 2018 class of Marketo Fearless 50. So welcome, Madison.
Hey, Kaitlin. Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. We're so excited to have you. So, Madison, first question, what does it mean to be fearless? And I say that in the most non-cheesy way possible.
Yeah, so to me, being fearless is, and I think this is going to resonate with a lot more people, is that you have to be unafraid to challenge people at any turn.
Yeah.
You can't just kind of go with what people say. You got to be able to speak up and say, hey, I think that I can do this better this way. And then, just go and do it if you truly believe that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so before we go a little more of what it means to be fearless in your role and how your role applies to obviously marketing, but sales and the whole organization, explain to us what your role is. What does it mean to be Madison Bennett at Terminus as a marketing operations coordinator?
Yes. So basically, my job is to help to manage our entire tech stack and to kind of figure out how everything interplays with each other. Mm-hmm. So whether it's using Marketo and syncing it to Salesforce to figure out exactly how those two are going to work with conversions and everything, then that's what I do. As far as how that plays into me going into working with sales, we do a lot with account-based at Terminus, as I'm sure you've heard ad nauseum on this podcast. And the entire account-based process kind of runs through marketing operations. So basically, we figure out the best fit accounts through a lot of different data sources, compile it all together, give it off to sales in order to have them work those good accounts.
Right. So how do you go about finding those accounts? How does that integrate with the rest of the marketing team?
So as far as integration, it's really just operations that kind of deals with it. We have to work with demand gen to figure out kind of the plays to do those segments with, but it's really just operations that kind of deals with finding the accounts. And as far as technology goes, we use something that's fit intent engagement, which I believe that was referenced on another episode of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So fit, you can think ICP on steroids. It's ones that meet demographics, firmographic, every single thing that you want in a customer goes into fit. Intent we get from Bombora, which is basically signals across the web for showing, hey, I'm kind of interested in researching this kind of stuff. It's not just Google searches. It's they read a report on a website from Demand Gen report or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And engagement, we use our own in-house product to determine based off of web visits and such. All that data kind of comes together and you'll figure out a list of accounts that kind of just funnel in to meet all those requirements. Those are what we consider to be our target accounts. And from there, we give those off and, sales just goes and does their thing with them.
Yes, exactly. Goes and just does the sales thing.
There's a lot of marketing stuff that's involved with demand gen and that kind of thing, but it's sales reaching out at that point.
Exactly. And so your role is pretty integral to sales because, that's the whole crux of account-based marketing is those target accounts, right? If you're not targeting
exactly
the right people, you can't be personal to them.
It's sales and marketing working together in order to go after those good accounts.
Exactly. And so sales relies on you pretty heavily in the operations team to get them those accounts and for them to be the right accounts. So what is your relationship like with sales, and how at times has that been weak, and how have you made it stronger, or what are the important pieces there?
You got to have a lot of trust in the sales team and vice versa. It takes a while, honestly, for that trust to build up. And at times it feels like it can get strained, like with any relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But the more you work at it and the closer you try to be to that process, the easier it's going to be for them to have buy-in to the accounts that you give them, and for you to trust that those accounts are being worked properly.
Right, exactly. So how do you see your role as, marketing operations coordinator? Obviously, marketing ops touches sales through, fit, intent, engagement. They need to be the right fit, has the right intent in order, for them to have a faster deal cycle. But that also touches, customer success. So how does your role impact the sort of whole of the organization?
Right. I mean, part of it is what you just got to, was that the better accounts are going to be flowing through a deal cycle faster because you already know that they're ready to buy in some regard. The other part of that is that those accounts are going to be better customers for your customer success team to be working. They're going to be more interested. They're going to be more in tune to actually learning about ABM and best practice kind of things. Whereas customers that are, smaller or maybe not as sophisticated or what have you, maybe they don't meet all the fit, intent, engagement criteria, they're not going to be as receptive to wanting to learn from what we've seen.
Right. And, I think that your role and the role of marketing ops and, marketing in general with the whole organization is to really find those key accounts for sales to go after, for customer success to customer success. You want to, this is just, incredibly basic, but the goal of marketing is to tee up those right accounts who are going to be most successful at the organization. I think that is sometimes lost in the shuffle a little bit as things get more and more complex and more complicated. But that is the key of this whole thing, is going after the right people. And how you do that is through your role. It's through marketing ops.
Right. And you kind of dug into something that ABM kind of helps with more of an ABM approach. You're looking at a more clear and concise role that marketing plays into getting to those accounts. Whereas before it's fill the funnel, maybe marketing had a touch somewhere. This way we know that we chose this account for these specific reasons, and these are the reasons why they're going to be good customers.
Exactly. And so how do you be, bringing it back to sort of the whole fearlessness thing, how do you be fearless in your role? How do you be fearless on a day-to-day basis? Maybe when there's not some exciting event happening, or you're coming to the end of, a big project that you've been working on, or whatever it is. How do you sustain fearlessness on a daily basis?
So this actually is the reason why I ended up getting nominated from my boss for Fearless 50, is that I like to play around with technology and figuring out ways in which we can either, one, consolidate things, or two, how things play interchangeably between each other or what have you. I love doing that kind of stuff. It's fun for me. And so it's being fearless is being able to not worry about, will I break this? It's okay, if I break this, what are my next steps for fixing it? It's just going after it.
Yeah. And one of the, the core values of Terminus is taking the keys to the Ferrari. So
Exactly.
does that plays a part in that?
Exactly. That's that actually sums it up perfectly there.
Yeah. Fearlessness is taking the keys to the Ferrari.
Mm-hmm. And it's something that I think every Terminator in some regard has the ability to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Madison, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today. And I hope everybody can go out and be fearless. Gosh,
Thanks again,
that's a terrible cheesy thing to end this on.
No, you need to keep that in there.
All right. Well, everyone have a great day.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Flip My Funnel podcast. To make sure that you never miss an episode, subscribe to the show in your favorite podcast player. If you have an iPhone, we'd love for you to open the Apple Podcasts app and leave a review. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.